there are a number of important issues we need to discuss before we can understand what our role as school governors are. First of all, it is important for school governing body members to understand that there are two generally accepted principles with regard to governors which governors must exercise. The first one is due and reasonable care, skill, and diligence in the exercising of their functions. And the second one is that there is an obligation on a school governor to always act in the best interests of the school and particularly the learners of the school. Now, as far as care and diligence is concerned, that is up to you. But as far as the skill is concerned, skill requires an amount of knowledge, and we as Fedsas are there to provide that knowledge to you and also to assist you in developing the skills to function properly as a school governor. The next important issue that I need to emphasize is that you will hear and read that many people refer to our schools in South Africa as state schools. They are certainly not state schools. We only have public schools in South Africa. That's apart from the independent schools. But the majority of the schools in South Africa are public schools, and that is where you have been elected to serve as a school governor. It is important to understand the difference between a state school and a public school. Briefly, it simply means that in the case of a state school, the school belongs to the state. In the case of a public school, it is exactly what the name says. It actually belongs to the public. The school belongs to the public, the community in which the school is situated. That brings us to the next important issue, and that is juristic personality. Every school, in terms of the Schools Act, is clothed with juristic personality. And that means it is an entity separate from all other entities. It means that this juristic person belongs to itself. It doesn't belong to the Department of Education. It doesn't belong to the learners. It doesn't belong to the parents. It belongs to itself. And therefore, it requires a governance structure, such as the school governing body, to govern the school. And that's why your task as a school governor is so important. Let's illustrate it graphically. If we imagine the Department of Education as a building, and the school, on the other hand, also as a building, between these two buildings is a huge gorge, which is impassable. You cannot cross that gorge. You cannot cross from the Department of Education to the school. If you want to do so, you require a bridge. And the law creates bridges, in terms of which politicians, education officials can cross that gorge to get to the school. If there is no bridge, if there is no law allowing these people to come into the school, they cannot do so. So it's important for you as school governor to also understand and know when it is possible for a departmental official, or anybody for that matter, to come in to your sphere of competence as school governor or as a school. But equally, the same applies to the governing body. A governing body, democratically elected, but it is a statutory body. It's a statutory body, as we call it, because it's created by a statute, the South African Schools Act in this particular instance. You've been elected onto that statutory body to govern this juristic person called the school. That principle, the principle of only being able to do what the law requires or authorizes you to do, we call the principle of legality.